Brothers and sisters in faith, an unprecedented celestial event is about to profoundly alter the course of humanity in the coming months, and an urgent revelation has just reached the world through Father Petar, considered one of the closest confidants of the visionaries of Medjugorje. What you are about to discover is not just a message of consolation or hope, but a solemn warning from heaven, transmitted by the Virgin Mary herself with a heart full of sorrow and eyes brimming with tears. Dear brothers and sisters in faith, what will be revealed now may completely transform the way you understand the time in which we are living. For the Blessed Mother recently appeared with an urgency never before seen in her manifestations, and her face, which normally reflects peace and serenity, was marked by a profound sadness and a concern impossible to ignore. With a choked voice and celestial tears streaming down her face, she uttered words capable of shaking any sensitive soul, saying that the time of the great prophecies has arrived, and that what for so many years seemed to belong to a distant future is now rapidly approaching present reality. This is not just another spiritual reflection or a common message, but a direct and immediate call addressed to every heart that still seeks the truth, because the veil between heaven and earth seems to be becoming ever thinner, and an extraordinary sign is about to be revealed before all humanity. What the Virgin Mary showed Father Petar in recent weeks was so impactful and profound that several priests who came into contact with this revelation immediately knelt to pray. Some remained sleepless for days, seized by an inner urgency to prepare the faithful for what is to come. Because this time the Mother of God did not speak through difficult-to-understand symbols or through mysterious parables, but revealed with impressive clarity a sequence of events that will begin to manifest in the coming weeks and will culminate in a great event that no one in the world will be able to ignore. The big question now is whether you are prepared for what is approaching, because while most people will continue living their routines normally without noticing the signs that heaven is sending, you who have reached this message have received a rare opportunity for spiritual preparation. A special grace granted to few, because time seems to be running out quickly and the spiritual clock of humanity is advancing towards a decisive moment. Before fully revealing the content of this urgent message, it is important to understand that each person who hears these words has the chance to awaken spiritually and open their heart to what heaven wishes to communicate in these decisive times. On a night marked by profound prayer in Medjugorje, Father Petar was surprised by an intense light that completely filled the room where he was. A light unlike anything in this world, a luminosity that carried a peace and at the same time a spiritual force impossible to explain with human words, and in the center of this light the figure of the Virgin Mary began to slowly emerge, and although her presence was full of celestial majesty, there was a deep sadness in her countenance that touched the heart of anyone who could contemplate her. Celestial tears streamed down her face as she approached the kneeling priest. Father Petar, who for many years had maintained close contact with the visionaries connected to the apparitions of Medjugorje, had never witnessed such a direct and intense manifestation, and at that moment the Mother of God spoke with an urgency that made his heart tremble deeply as she declared that the time announced for decades is now very near, and that the prophesied celestial signs will begin to appear not in the distant future, but within a few months. At the same time, the Medjugorje community has noticed significant changes in recent times, as the visionaries who still receive periodic apparitions report that the recent messages carry a more serious and urgent tone than before, and the flow of pilgrims arriving at the sacred site seems to have increased, as if an invisible force were guiding more souls there before something extraordinary happens. During the apparition, the Virgin Mary showed Father Petar disturbing visions about the spiritual state of the current world, revealing how forces contrary to good have been working intensely to destroy families, confuse young people, and increasingly distance people from the presence of God, explaining that the spiritual battle has reached a critical moment because the enemy knows that his time is limited and therefore intensifies his attacks against those who still seek to live in the light. Then the priest was shown the revelation presents several images of what will soon begin to occur in the world, and among the first signs will be events in nature itself that will defy the explanations of modern science, such as earthquakes occurring in unexpected regions, extreme weather phenomena, and strange manifestations in the skies that will leave scholars and experts without answers. However, these events will not occur randomly, as according to the revelation, they will be signs permitted by God to awaken humanity. Soon after, a period of great social and economic turmoil will come, affecting structures that for a long time seemed solid and secure. Financial systems considered stable will begin to show fragility, and institutions that promise stability will reveal their vulnerability, causing fear and confusion, especially among those who trusted only in material things. Father Petar, deeply moved as he recounted these revelations, paused frequently as if the spiritual weight of what he had seen was almost unbearable. He explained that he was not sharing these words to spread panic, but because the Virgin Mary herself had asked that hearts be prepared while there was still time, for the events would not unfold haphazardly, but as pieces of a grand plan that gradually fit together, paving the way for something greater. The Mother of God also explained that these progressive signs should not be seen as punishment, but as an expression of divine mercy, for God wishes to offer opportunities for people to awaken spiritually before the great final event, giving each heart a chance to return to the light. Looking at recent world events, many people are beginning to realize that certain events seem to follow an increasingly intense and unusual rhythm, and what many consider coincidence may, in fact, be part of a set of signs that heaven allows to draw humanity's attention. According to Father Petar, what will come after these signs will be something so extraordinary that it has never been witnessed in the history of humanity, a celestial phenomenon visible simultaneously to all the peoples of the earth, something that cannot be hidden, denied, or explained by conventional theories, a manifestation that will make believers and non-believers stop and reflect deeply on the existence of God and on the spiritual destiny of humanity. My children, listen attentively to what I place in your hearts today. The world around you has become increasingly restless and turbulent. Many walk distracted, without realizing that shadows are rising in many places, bringing confusion, violence, and disorder. There is destruction and chaos everywhere, and many hearts no longer know where to look, for they have lost the path of truth. In the face of this, my children, be strong. Do not allow fear to dominate your souls, nor the darkness of this world to steal from you the hope that God has placed in your hearts. The strength I ask of you is not the strength of pride or human hardness, but the strength of faith, the kind that is born when the heart truly turns to God. Many have lived only for worldly things. They chase after fleeting riches, disappearing pleasures, and paths that do not lead to true life. Thus, their souls become empty, and without realizing it, they drift further and further away from the light of the Lord. That is why I call you today, like a mother calling her children closer, so that you may not get lost in the midst of this darkness that silently grows among men. Strengthen your hearts, my children. When you look around and see so much confusion, so much injustice, and so much lack of love, do not despair. Remember that God continues to watch over his children, and that no storm is greater than the power of the Almighty. Even when the world seems lost, those who remain steadfast in faith are like lights shining in the night. Many will try to convince you that faith is worthless, that prayer is useless, and that living according to God's ways is weakness. But I tell you, my children, it is precisely in these difficult times that faith becomes the greatest treasure of a soul. It is faith that sustains the heart when everything seems to crumble. Protect your homes, protect your families, and watch over your hearts. Do not allow evil to enter your home through division, anger, or despair. A home that seeks God's presence becomes a place of refuge, a small sanctuary where the light of heaven remains lit, even when the world outside is in darkness. Remember also that you are not alone. Heaven walks with you. The angels of the Lord guard those who trust in God, and many invisible aids are sent to protect those who remain steadfast on the path of good. Therefore, I tell you again, my children, be strong. Do not be carried away by the current of a world that is increasingly turning away from God. Walk with courage, faith, and hope. Even though many choose paths that lead to perdition, you have been called to remain in the light. And like a mother who never abandons her children, I continue to intercede for each of you, asking the Lord to strengthen your hearts and illuminate your steps, so that even in times of great confusion, your souls may remain firm, full of faith and guided by the grace of God. Look around you and see how difficult times have become. There is unrest in nations. There are divisions within families. There are hearts that no longer know how to distinguish good from evil. The world has become an increasingly dangerous place, not only because of the wars and violence you see with your own eyes, but mainly because of the coldness that has taken hold of many hearts. Therefore, I tell you again, my children, be strong. Do not allow the difficulties of this time to cause you to lose faith or distance you from what is eternal. Many things around you seem solid, important, and powerful, but everything that does not originate from God is fleeting. Only God's love remains forever. Many have lived in the world as if God did not exist. They seek only to satisfy their desires, their interests, and their will, forgetting that the soul was created for something much greater. Thus, they end up exchanging true peace for restlessness, true joy for empty pleasures that soon disappear. And when these pleasures pass, the heart becomes even emptier than before. My mother's heart aches to see so many children walking aimlessly, as if lost in a great darkness. Many no longer hear God's call. Many no longer seek the truth, and others allow themselves to be led down paths that seem easy but lead to sadness and separation from divine grace. That is why I call you insistently, my children. Do not let yourselves be carried away by the current of this world. The world often tries to convince you of that good is weakness, that purity has no value, that faith is outdated. But all these are illusions that distance the soul from the true light. He who remains faithful to God, even when everyone around him walks in another direction, becomes like a flame that does not go out. Even in the midst of storms, this flame continues to illuminate, and often, without realizing it, this light also ends up illuminating the path of other souls who were lost. My children, strengthen your homes. A home that seeks the presence of God becomes a spiritual fortress. When there is prayer, when there is respect, when there is true love within a house, evil finds it difficult to enter. Many families have been destroyed because they open space for division, for anger, for indifference. But a home that turns to God becomes protected by a special grace. I also ask you to watch over your thoughts and your hearts. Often evil does not enter in an obvious way, but approaches slowly through small distractions, small concessions, attitudes that seem unimportant. Thus, little by little, the heart drifts away from what is pure and true. But do not be afraid, my children. Even in these difficult times, God's mercy remains infinite. Whenever a soul decides to return to God with sincerity, all of heaven rejoices. No heart is lost as long as there is still the desire to seek the light again. Remember that each of you has a mission in this world. Even if it seems small in human eyes, no life is without purpose before God. Often a word of faith, a gesture of kindness, or an act of love can transform the day of someone who is about to lose hope. Therefore, do not tire of doing good, even when the world seems increasingly distant from the truth. Do not tire of standing firm, even when others mock your faith. Those who remain faithful, even in times of confusion, are like deep trees whose roots are firmly planted in the rock. I continue walking alongside each of you, interceding before God for your lives, for your families, and for your paths. As a mother, I never cease to watch over my children. Even when you do not realize it, many graces are poured out upon you, often to protect you from dangers you have not even come to know. Therefore, my children, lift up your hearts. Do not live dominated by the fear or despair that many spread throughout the world. The darkness may seem great, but the light of God will always be greater. Remain firm, remain vigilant, remain in faith. Even amidst the storms of this time, those who trust in God will find strength to continue walking. For no night is eternal for those who walk towards the light. My children, today I speak to you with the tenderness of a mother who observes her children's journey on earth. My heart looks upon humanity and sees many weary, confused souls, far from the light of God. Therefore, I ask you with love and also with sadness, how many of you have lived far from the divine paths? How many hearts have silently turned away from the presence of the Lord, setting aside that which is eternal to embrace only that which passes? Many walk every day preoccupied with so many things of the world, with their struggles, their desires, their worries, and their achievements, but forget to care for their own souls. And when the soul is forgotten, the heart begins to lose its way. Thus, little by little, man distances himself from true peace, from the joy that comes from God, and from the hope that sustains life. My children, I warn you with love. You are living in a time of struggles and wars. In many places on earth, conflicts, divisions, and deep sorrows arise. Nations rise against nations, peoples clash, and violence grows where fraternity should once have existed. But the wars you see are not only those that take place between countries and armies. There are also silent wars within hearts, wars within families, wars within souls themselves. God's love has been lost in many places. Where there was once compassion, today there is often indifference. Where there was once unity, now divisions arise. Many no longer know how to love sincerely, for their hearts have become accustomed to living far from the source of true love, which is God Himself. When man turns away from God, the world begins to lose its harmony. Peace slowly disappears, and emptiness grows within people. That is why you see so much unrest, so much hidden sadness, so many souls seeking happiness on paths that cannot fill the human heart. My mother's heart calls to you in this time. I do not say these words to cause fear, but to awaken your hearts. There is still time to return to God. There is still time to open your hearts and allow divine light to illuminate your paths once more. My children, each of you has precious value in the eyes of heaven. No soul was created by chance. Every life has a purpose within God's plans. But to understand this purpose, it is necessary to walk the divine paths. It is necessary to allow God's grace to guide your steps. Do not let the noise of the world distract you from the truth. Many voices will try to confuse your thoughts and convince you that God is not necessary. But I tell you, without God, the human heart is lost. Without God, true love weakens. Without God, the world is filled with confusion and suffering. Therefore, I invite you, my children, to awaken your souls. Look at your lives and ask yourselves if you are truly walking in the right direction the light shines. Ask yourselves if your hearts are full of love, faith, and hope, or if the world has stolen from you what is most precious. Even in the face of so many struggles and difficulties, do not lose hope. God's mercy remains open to all those who wish to return. No error is greater than God's love when a soul decides to start again with sincerity. I walk beside you like a mother who does not abandon her children. In the midst of the pains of this time, I continue to intercede for each of you, asking the Lord to touch your hearts and lead you again to the paths of peace, truth, and divine love. Listen to this call attentively, my children. The world may be full of conflicts and anxieties, but he who remains united to God never walks in darkness. The light of the Lord will always find a way to illuminate those who wish to live in the truth and love that comes from heaven. I look at humanity and see many paths being traveled, but not all lead to the light. Therefore, I ask you once again, with a heart full of compassion, how many of you have lived far from the divine paths? How many have allowed the worries of the world to occupy all the space in their hearts, leaving God silent within their own lives? Many have begun to walk distracted, thinking only of fleeting things. They work, they fight, they seek to conquer so many things, but they forget to look within themselves and realize that the soul needs spiritual nourishment. When the soul is neglected, the heart begins to weaken, and then man begins to live without direction, without peace, and without true hope. I warn you, my children, because you are living in a delicate time in the history of humanity. In many parts of the world, struggles, conflicts, and wars arise, bringing pain to many families. Entire peoples live in fear, children grow up amidst violence, and many hearts no longer know what it is to live in true peace. The world is restless, and many souls feel lost in the face of all that happens around them. But understand something very important. The wars that arise in the outside world often begin first within the human heart. When man loses love, when he loses the capacity to forgive, when he allows pride, envy, and division to grow within himself, then the whole world begins to suffer the consequences of this darkness. God's love has been lost in many hearts, not because God has stopped loving humanity, but because many have stopped seeking that love. Many have become accustomed to living without prayer, without reflection, without looking to heaven. Thus, the heart grows cold, and what was once sacred is treated as something worthless. My mother's heart aches to see so many children walking this path. I see souls that were created for the light, but now walk amidst shadows they themselves do not understand. I see families that have strayed from true love, allowing small divisions to grow into great wounds. I see hearts that could be instruments of peace, but end up spreading even more pain and confusion. That is why I call upon you with such insistence, my children. Awaken while there is still time. Do not let the world drag you away from that which is eternal. Everything the world offers passes quickly, but that which comes from God remains forever. Many believe that happiness lies only in material achievements, in riches, or in the recognition of others. But when life passes and silence arrives in the heart, many realize that these things cannot fill the void that exists within the soul. This void can only be filled by the love of God. Therefore, I invite you to look to the sky again. Do not live as if you were alone in this world. God continues to watch over each of you with infinite love. Even when man turns away, God continues to wait for the moment when the heart decides to return. My children, strengthen your souls. When the world becomes confused, it is even more important to seek what is true. When you see so much division, be instruments of peace. When you see so much hatred, learn to respond with love. When you see so much darkness, become small lights that illuminate the path of those who are lost. Many believe that a single person cannot change anything in this vast world. But before God, every soul that decides to live in love already begins to transform the world around them. A word of kindness, a gesture of forgiveness, an attitude of compassion can deeply touch the heart of someone who is immersed in sadness. I tell you again, do not be afraid of these difficult times. Even if struggles and wars increase in the world, the light of God never ceases to shine. Those who remain firm in faith are protected by a special grace, a strength that is born from divine love itself. Remember that you are not abandoned. Heaven remains attentive to the suffering of humanity. Many unseen aids are sent to help those who seek the truth. Angels walk beside those who remain in the light, and God's mercy remains open to all. I continue to intercede for each of you before the Lord. As a mother, I never cease to watch over my children. Even when you feel weak, even when you feel lost or weary, I continue to ask God to illuminate your paths and strengthen your hearts. Therefore, I ask you once more, my children, return to the divine paths. Do not let the world steal from you what is most precious. God's love is still available to all those who sincerely wish to seek it. Even amidst the struggles of this time, those who remain united to God find peace in the midst of the storms. And when many are confused and directionless, those who walk in the light will become signs of hope for the world. Remain steadfast, my children. Do not lose faith. God's love is greater than any darkness, and those who choose to live in that love never walk alone.